A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Waran Shanmugam show. My name is Waran Shanmugam, and I am your host. I'm also the president of the empowermalaysians.org. This is an NGO helping women on empowerment. We also help youth on personal development, and also we help people who have got mental health issues. I'm also the founder of Set Academy. Now, in Set Academy, we transform people into becoming a better being. And here, tonight, I would like to welcome you to the Waran Shanmugam Show. Today, 5th of May 2021, yeah, yet a charming Wednesday, I would say. So, for a charming Wednesday, we should then have a charming guest. Here, I would like to welcome our guest for tonight. She now resides in Singapore, but she is from a different land altogether. And a liveness coach, leadership development, and culture facilitator. Let us now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Diana Jean Reyes, or DJ for short. Hey there, DJ.
Hey, hi Waran. Hi everybody.
How are you doing?
Really good. Your introduction made me smile. You said charming, so I'm like, okay.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You all know, right? He is charming. It's so nice to have you here with us, DJ. We call her DJ simply because she is always there whenever you need her, like a DJ in this job. Yeah. So DJ, let me just share with you a little bit about this show. Yeah, the Waran Shanmugam show is actually dedicated to all those who inspires people in different ways. I would say their own ways. And I plan to speak with them and invite them to the show so that they can share their stories and inspire those out there, just like how you are here today in my show. So thank you so much for being there. My message is only one, DJ, that you are more than who you think you are. I am more than I think. And that's my mantra. Our shows are always Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Usually 40 minutes, but sometimes the sharing is very interesting, so it can go up to 1 hour. So I think today will be the second one, yeah. And to know more about our past and future events, please follow us in our Facebook page. I am more than I think. I am more than I think. Click like, click share. So let's not waste any more time. We shall move on, shall we?
We shall. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Before we start, right, I would like to share this screen, and I want to start this with this question, if I may. Let me just share this. There you go. What's your life purpose? What's your life purpose? Now, for those who are watching us right now live, I would like to have all of you all to think about this while you're watching this show, and also write down in that comment box what do you think your life purpose is. And also, if you have got any questions with regards to life purpose, please ask, because the person whom I am with today is the coach. She has got so much of experience in life purpose. How do you get or identify your life purpose? So so please remember, ask those questions. Let the questions come. Now, DJ, I would like to ask you by this question that I ask everyone, but I want to ask you in a different manner. Yeah, can you share with us who you really are? And I'm asking this simply because I know you. Yeah. Also, your childhood back home, DJ.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Well, DJ is my name. It's not my job, but I love music. I'm a bit stuck in the 70s and 80s, so I guess you can relate to me. But maybe not everyone watching this. I was born and raised in the Philippines, and Singapore has been home away from home for the last 15 years. I have to say that Malaysia really holds a special place in my heart for two reasons. One, it was the first country I ever traveled to outside the Philippines. And actually, it was being in Malaysia that kind of opened my mind to really traveling and getting to know people from other cultures because of the stories I heard from the people I met there. And also because Malaysia was the first country I ever worked in outside the Philippines. So I come from a ordinary middle-class background. I have a brother and a sister, but what's extraordinary is I have 42 cousins. I'm not sure if anyone can beat that, but yeah, that's a record.
Indeed, indeed. There you go. So how about your friends? Do you still have got your friends that you used to hang around with back in the Philippines? Do you still keep in touch?
Oh yes, that's. I think that's one of the unique things, at least, and that I really appreciate about my growing up years in my life. All my friends since I was 4 years old, my classmates are still my friends till today. Yeah, we see each other every time I go home. Now in the pandemic, we even Zoom and just check on each other.
There you
So
go.
yeah, really strong bonds with everybody. And I think I'm not sure, but I think that's quite common for us Asians, right? Like this very community collective spirit.
You're right. You're so right. You're so right. So I want to dive straight into this word that is very attractive to myself and to the many. When I send this post to a lot of them, aliveness coach is what they are. So tell us a little bit about this aliveness coach. What does it mean?
So for me, let's look at the word aliveness. So for me, aliveness is really about energy and spirit and vibrance and to a certain degree, like consciousness, right? It's about being fully present to our lives, the good and the not so good. I have a story as well on how I came up with that because when I was walking the Camino, I only had two sets of clothes in my backpack for 33 days. And
Mm.
at some point in the path, it was the most alive I've ever felt. And that's when I started to explore this feeling of aliveness because, in this day and age, especially the digital age, a lot of us can be like in that treadmill, right? And we forget we exist, but we don't live. And so I really, as much as I can, help and support people in creating and designing a life where yeah, it's filled with meaning and joy, and I think wholeness to a certain degree, like body, mind, heart, and spirit.
And I like the word that you said, yeah, you use, we exist but we do not live. That is very interesting, yeah, how you say that. You spoke about Camino, but before we go into that, I would like to know, I saw your
Mhm.
write-ups, yeah, in the LinkedIn, and you spoke about how you have been traveling to many places. So can you share with us your traveling? How was your experience when you go to all these countries? You went to Africa, you went to Middle East, and so many other places. How is it? And I want to not so much on the visit itself, but
Yeah.
in terms of the way they think and also aliveness, as you spoke. How are they different from us?
Yeah, I think you're probably familiar with the phrase "same, same but different,"
Ah,
and so
exactly.
that's how I probably yeah, at least qualify everyone that I've met so far. One is I really believe that the world is our classroom, so I always approach life and people and the cultures I visit, right, with a lot of curiosity and appreciation. But one thing I found, I mean, at the end of the day, even when it comes to, I guess, purpose, life purpose, all of us really want similar things or the same things, which is love, a sense of belonging, safety and security, peace, and ultimately happiness. So I think that's what makes all of us the same. But in terms of maybe how we express that or how we expect it in our lives might be different culturally. So I mentioned earlier about us Asians being more collective and community kind of based, right? So I mean that's how we express maybe or expect safety and security. But for more Western cultures, for them, maybe safety and security is about having independence and being self-sufficient. So something like that. But at the heart of it all, I find that all of us really just want the same things.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and now let's dive into this whole title, Camino, my purposeful pilgrimage. This is the title for the day.
Yes.
Yeah? Tell us about your. I still can't imagine you did this 800 kilometers. Yes, you heard it right. 800 kilometers pilgrimage in 33 days. And as I was talking to you just now, you did the second time also. Please
Yes.
share with us. How do you even got to know about this soul searching adventure? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I love the word you use, soul searching, because actually, 2 years before I walked the Camino, a friend of mine sent me this poem by David White. And in
Uh-huh.
that poem, he walked the Camino and he described like standing on the water's edge, but knowing that a part of him can walk on even through the waves, through water, right? And I'm like, wow, I wonder what he experienced in that journey or pilgrimage that, tapped into this. He was able to tap into that part of himself.
Mm.
So, classic midlife crisis or midlife opportunity. When I turned 40, I really felt the need and the call to kind of press a pause button on my life. So I took a year off, and that the Camino de Santiago was what kicked off that sabbatical year. So I walked with three other friends. I met them all in Singapore, but they're now in different parts of the world. So I walked with Botsa from Hungary, Yunya from Romania, and Natasha from India. So it was also a beautiful kind of journey, all four of us walking together. There's
Mm.
actually 6 ways to the Camino. So the first one I did that year was 800 kilometers, which is called Camino Frances. And interestingly enough, last year at the start of 2020, I walked the other one more route, which is called Camino Finisterre, which is only like 100 kilometers. And that one I walked by myself. I'm not sure if I was being stupid or or enlightened by that because it was winter, but it was also super transformational.
Mm, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So you did say super transformational. What actually changed afterwards?
Oh my gosh, I have to say really a lot of things because it puts many things in perspective. Uh, let's say the first Camino really taught me about walking life with lightness and with joy. And with that, I mean, number one was really listening to my body and honoring my feelings. Because at every point in the journey, it was 800 kilometers, right? And there were times when I really had to pause or pace myself because I realized if I actually pace the fastest walker, I would hurt or injure myself. But if I paced the slowest one, I felt every pain in my body, and then I'm like, wow, this is such a metaphor for life that we all walk our own paths and our own rhythm, and that's okay. So that was really one to listen to your body, honor your feelings and your own pace, and then also to enjoy the journey because at the 800 kilometer when I reached Santiago de Compostela with the rest, it was actually anticlimactic because
Mm.
there was no graduation ceremony, there was no banner or trumpet like congratulations DJ, you finished 800 kilometers. What I realized was I looked around everywhere for every person I met on the path, and it was such an amazing insight to really, yeah, to realize that moment that life is about who we walk with. It's not necessarily about just reaching the destination. And I was so glad that I enjoyed every part of the journey.
Mhm.
And this most recent one last year was also powerful in terms of walking as love, and maybe I'll share more about that later. But it's
Mm.
really about the full being and yeah, being one with everyone and even nature.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have done two of the six routes. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right.
Are you planning to do another four that is?
Yes, that's actually my goal in my lifetime is to do all six. So the next one on my list is the Camino Portuguese.
Gosh. DJ, out of curiosity, when you speak about this, you seem to be like all excited, all smiles. For
Yeah.
me, it's like, my God, that's like long journey. Why is it that it is so interesting for you?
Um, yeah, I have to say, every day on the path was really like a lifetime, and I found that it's like the path always rose to meet me, whatever it
Mm.
was that I needed, a question I had, like yeah, a guidance I needed at that time. Every day on that path seemed to have answered or addressed that, whether it was the right people or the situation I encountered in that day. But I remember a pivotal moment actually on the 400th kilometer because
Mhm.
I've had this belief in my life that I can always start something but I can never finish.
Mhm. Yes.
And
Okay.
that was tested on the 400th kilometer because I was thinking, okay, I've proved to myself I can walk 400, and then I look like 400 more. I don't think I can walk anymore. But then there was this point in the middle where I was in Carrion de los Condes. A pilgrim actually I came across, and she was from Germany. She said, "DJ, you have to stop here," and I said, "No, but this is only 11 kilometers during the day, right? I still needed an average about 27 kilometers so that I reach Santiago on a certain date." And she said, "No, this is it's like this is one of those times when I kind of listen to, do I stick to my plan or do I go with the flow?"
Mm.
And so I decided to go with the flow and just make up for the kilometers the next day. And it actually turned out to be one of the most transformational experiences because at 6 p.m. every evening in that town or village, the nuns sat with all the pilgrims around a circle. And there was about 40 of us from different parts of the world. The
Mm.
nuns asked only three questions: who are you? Where are you from? And why are you walking? And I tell you, um, by the 20th person, everyone was already in tears because that question alone on why are you walking is so powerful, so humbling. And I kind of felt a deeper reverence for the path after that. And I decided, yes, I need to finish this. So I did.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps when you ask the third question. Yeah, so it really goes very much within yourself. Yeah, it's not just walking physically, but more
Mm.
so walking internally. Yeah, so that's beautiful. I had this question coming. I think you have answered just now. What's your aha moment during your pilgrimage? Is the question that they asked. I think that's what you have just mentioned, I guess. Yeah, but I want to know also what's your challenging moment during the 33 days, the 800 kilometers. Can you share?
Um, yeah, there was many metaphors, right? It because one of the things about the walk was I think this what I mentioned earlier about walking with lightness, because lightness in the at least in day-to-day life when I'm back in, regular living and not on a pilgrimage, right, is about limiting beliefs and fears and yeah, just challenging emotions that I needed to face every day, because life will throw you temptation. Like a taxi will not walk. A taxi will drive by just when you're like, oh my god, I cannot walk one step more.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like taking a shortcut, all those things, and also limiting beliefs about, did I yeah, can I do this, or I don't want to do this anymore. Just all those times that I yeah, doubted myself.
Yeah, so it's interesting how I am trying to throw questions to you where you will be giving me negative feedback, but it's all very interesting how you are taking it in a different manner. And you mentioned this very well, metaphorical. Every single thing that happened there was to give you a certain message, a particular message, and therefore enlightenment happened, I suppose. Two things that I want to ask. One is, why do you call it pilgrimage? Is that something to do with spirituality or otherwise? And the second question is, what's with the yellow arrows?
Yes. Oh, I love the yellow arrows. That's actually one of my favorite things about the Camino. Okay. So the Camino de Santiago originally started as a Catholic pilgrimage
Mhm.
in the Middle Ages. But then over time, actually, yeah, people from all backgrounds, cultural and religious backgrounds, have been walking the Camino. And it's become a symbol of not just an outer journey, but an inner journey, as you mentioned earlier. And I found that a lot of people walking on the path are really just have that one important question that they need to look inside in order to answer, and that's why they walk the 800 kilometers. So yeah, it's really a powerful transformational inner and outer journey. I think for me,
Yeah,
that's the pilgrimage.
yeah.
Um, so what's interesting about the Camino de Santiago is that you navigate it, if you really want to do it the old style pilgrim way, is you follow yellow arrows. So the path is laden with yellow arrows that are painted on trees, on rocks, on the ground, and they were painted by pilgrims centuries before. So you actually don't need a guidebook. You just look around you, you stay mindful and present on the path, and you look for the yellow arrows. So
There you
it's
go.
almost like it's like a middle-aged GPS. So it was painted by pilgrims centuries before, and it's always telling you, like, if you find the yellow arrow, like, you're on the right path, keep walking.
Ah,
And yeah, for me, that's why I love purpose work, because it's also for me a metaphor for our own inner yellow arrows.
there you go. There you go. That is beautifully said. Very interesting. We'll go for a short advert break here. I have got some advertisements that came by that I want to share with everyone, if I may. Yeah. Okay, this is with regards to the Mother's Day that is coming, and also the Eid Mubarak, the Hari Raya that is coming here in Asia. Yeah, DJ. So if you could see here, Eid Delight Millie's all butter homemade shortbread fingers. Yeah. So she says that goes deliciously well with coffee. Now I would like to have coffee and this shortbread fingers. Yeah. So to order, it's only 29 ringgit, 350 gram. Call Millie at 012-299-2412. I repeat, 012-299-2412. Millie. Then you have got, wow, this is beautiful. Mother's Day promo, 20 ringgit per bar, moist chocolate cake bar. You'll definitely ask for more. I'm already wanting more, yeah, DJ. So this is a chocolate cake by Susan the Baker. You can call Miss Susan at 012-6888178. I repeat, 012-6888178. Yeah, Susan the Baker have also got this. These are all in Malay, yeah, DJ, but I'll share with you. This is biscuit mentega tulen, pure butter cake, pure butter almond cake, pure chocolate, butter chocolate cake, pure almond cake, and also jam tarts. So there you go. This is very interesting. If you want Susan the Baker, you know how to call them, 012-6888178. Then you have got yet another Mother's Day promotion. Wow, I'm feeling hungry already. So you have got brownies plus one rose that goes for 50 ringgit Malaysia, and brownie tower 24 pieces with one rose goes with 70 ringgit. Now they have got Nutella topping, they have got Kit Kat topping, Kinder Bueno topping, and all those delicious toppings. It goes with wish card included, they say. Bytes.com. So call Miss Hara 013-3874-711. I repeat, 013-3874-711. So yeah. So Mother's Day is coming soon. Yeah. Hence
Yes.
they have got all these things happening. So I want to go back to what we spoke about, and which you specialize in, DJ. What do you mean by life purpose? And is it a must that all should have it?
Oh, really good question. So for me, purpose is the core essence of who we are. It's um, I think that spark of light that we bring to the world. It's not about, it's really who we are. It's not just what we do, because I think many people actually confuse life purpose with dream job.
Mm-hmm.
Purpose is really how you show up, whether it's personal or professional life, and it's the why behind your life choices and your decisions, right? It's the why behind why you would like to overcome obstacles and thrive in life, or yeah, why you do what you do. And that's why for me it's like a metaphor, represented by the yellow arrow, because I think purpose is our inner yellow arrow, because it kind of tells us you're on the right path, or when times are really, really hard, it tells you to keep walking. Or even those times when you feel lost, you kind of just go back, retrace your steps, reconnect with your purpose or your inner yellow arrow, and then you find your way back on the path again. So for me, that's really powerful.
Yeah, that is. I have got some messages that came by here in my WhatsApp. Grace says her purpose, her life purpose is love. Just that one word, love. And Mano says that his life purpose is to be a successful person. Now, a successful person can be anything, yeah. But to start with, I think that itself is a great deal. And I've got this question that came by from Cindy. She says, what should I do when I feel down, especially knowing that my goals are somewhat too far away every time I want to get near?
Yeah. Okay, so what do you do at least in relation to purpose? How to get out of that funk, kind of the feeling of stuckness and down, yeah, down feeling. So I have to say first, first things first is really take care of the physical body and breathe. Normally, a practice I do is to put my hands in my heart and connect with, yeah, just centering myself. But in terms of being clear about purpose, um, I think that's one area of confusion as well, because purpose doesn't have to be expressed in a big goal or an achievement that you will reach at some point in your life. Purpose is something that you can express in the little things of every day. So when you're feeling sad or a bit disconnected, or maybe kind of how do you say uncertain, right? Or maybe, yeah, not inspired, or not having a lot of hope, if you go back to your purpose, what is the essence that you bring to the world? So express that in the smallest and little things. So, for example, you mentioned somebody whose life purpose is about love. And maybe the statement of that can be more kind of personalized or customized for her. But love, for example, can be expressed in your choice of words, or how you treat yourself that day, or how you treat somebody else. Like for me, one of my core essences is joy. And for me, it's something as little as making sure I have a jar of sweets in my table so that people who, yeah, pass by can get a sweet or a chocolate or something. So I think, because going back to your question earlier, is it important for people to have a purpose?
Yeah.
It's my belief that all of us have a purpose, because we wouldn't be alive if we didn't. But then the core thing about being clear and knowing what our purpose is exactly related to this, right? So in times when we feel lost or hopeless, we can just revisit that expression that gives us kind of a deeper meaning, and then course correct, or yeah, just feel a bit lifted up again. In fact, I think purpose work was rooted a lot on the work of Viktor Frankl, who wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. When he studied the two groups of people who survived the Holocaust versus those who didn't, he found that he couldn't understand why, given the same circumstances, right? The certain people survived and certain people did not. And he found that it was those people who had a clear sense of purpose and meaning, who survived and who, yeah, persevered through the difficulty.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have got lots of questions that is coming in my mind. A couple of things that I want to ask is, when you said centering myself, this is what you do every day. Centering can be anything. Yeah? It can be quiet time. It can be journaling. It can be meditation. It can be yoga. What would be the best, if there is any? But if no, then what else can one do? Because I find that every day when you wake up in the morning, that centering is so essential, or else your whole day can be wasted. Uh,
Yes.
your comments.
I would agree that there's no, I think, one right way. Everyone, I
Okay,
think, has a
good to
different way
hear.
of centering. Yeah, yeah. In the same way that, there's no such thing as a right or wrong purpose, right? As long as it's something that's really authentic and personal to you and derived from your own defining moments, and that purpose is right. But in terms of centering practice, I think it's everyone's responsibility as part of, really living life fully, to know what are the practices that kind of give you energy and yeah, bring you back to life. So in my case, it's walking. So I walk every morning. That is like my meditation. I also meditate, but if I can walk, I walk. And then if in that moment when I'm feeling really frazzled, I have that thing about putting my hands on my heart. And it's also ancient wisdom that people have used that for ages as well. But Can be dancing, can be writing, can be art, or yeah. So baking cookies, like all this, all the yummy treats that you just showed with what's on offer for Mother's Day, right? So I
Yeah.
think I think every I mean, as a coach, one of the things I really invite people to do is really figure out one or two centering practices that speak to them.
Okay. Okay. I've got another message that came by, which says, so the question is this. I do hear a lot of people committing suicide. Does that
Hmm.
mean that they do not have a life purpose? You want to comment on that?
Um, everyone has a purpose. When you're, as long as you're alive, you have a purpose. I'm not. I mean, I think it's a bit hard because I don't want to. You know, it's a very tricky topic to, and I think
Please,
suicide is a
please.
very complex topic. Yeah, I know of people also who have committed suicide, so I know how deep and how complex that
But
is,
trying to
right? So
yeah, so trying to rephrase that, probably, if
yeah.
someone thinks that this is all that they have to contribute to life as a whole, do you think that it is time for them to redefine their life purpose?
um, I think uh, redefined purpose. What do you mean by redefined
So
purpose?
this is the question that I wanted to ask you. Like, in a company, you have got vision and mission, and it is said that every 5 years or 10 years you have to revisit your vision and then see whether it is the same vision or else the vision can change.
Yes.
Likewise, life purpose is similar to the goals that you want to have in your life, as in, why are you here? Can that even also change depending on the different stage of life that you may be in?
Yes, totally agree with that. It may or may not change depending on life experience, life change. Yeah, something that drastic that happened in your life. And as you pointed out, it's really good to review this every once in a while. Even for
Mhm.
me, the way the purpose statement is stated also has changed through the years. But I make it a point that I revisit this at least even every year, because
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
like is this still my yellow arrow, right? So yeah, but I found that more or less some one or two core things don't really change. Maybe the way I'm expressing that or living that might change, but
Mhm.
yeah, in most cases they kind of stay, one or two core essences stay consistent.
Yeah, probably. I think you hit the right point there when you say that the core essence is pretty much the same, but the process, the way, the route that you take may differ. I remember before my dad passed on, when I was 2021, I was a different person altogether. I know what I wanted in life, but then after him passing on, now 2021 is the time where you really need to have your daddy. And when he was not there, the whole thing just changed. But I have to sit down and rethink towards what is the purpose of my life, and it took quite a bit of a time, couple of years. But like what you said, the path will just come in front of you in many ways.
Yeah.
It can be in a form of a person, science, or whatever it may be, but then you need to be seizing that moment. Once you seize that moment, then you will capture it and move on, or else yeah, it's
Yes.
a different pathway altogether. You're right, you're right. My question again, what is your life purpose, if I may ask, DJ?
Because of a similar actually a similar defining moment in my life was when my father passed away as well, and that kind of redefined at least how I viewed success and living. And then after, the Camino kind of reinforced that as well. So my purpose is to grow the Alive tribe and be a pilgrim of joy. So um, yeah, alive because yeah, being fully present to life, really conscious living, and actually also both good and the not so good, because initially I was always just focusing on the good stuff, but I realized there's a lot of lessons as well in difficult times, challenges, obstacles, and yeah, sometimes even our shadows. And then pilgrim of joy, because pilgrim is like somebody who does inner and outer journeys, and joy, I think, is the core, one of the core essences that I really want to bring more of in the world in whatever way I can. So yeah,
Mm.
that's for me, that's my
In-
purpose.
Interesting. There's another question which asks, what does the word success actually means? Would you be
Yeah.
able to answer? Because the reason I come from the same thought process also. Success can mean anything to many people. For me, success is like, if you have got a little money that you can take back home, if you have got little time to sit with your family members, to eat little food and be happy, I think that is also a success to a
Yes.
person. What is success?
For me, I redefined, especially because I came from the stock market. That was my previous life, right? Before I became like, but ever since I was four, I said I wanted to be a teacher, but for some reason I ended up in the financial sector. So I've been a coach and a trainer only for the last 12 years of my life. And that moment when actually my father passed on was one of the main events when I redefined success. And for me, success is really just being at peace and happy with the life I was living. Because most of my life, I was always asking questions about what other people wanted, what the world saw as successful. But I never looked within and asked myself, does this really make me happy? Is this really, yeah, what I want to do with my life? Yeah, life, if life is short, right? Because that was one of the lessons of my father's death, that life is short. And yeah, if I had only a few years to live, would I want to die living that life I was living at the time? And yeah, my answer was not really.
Nice, nice. That is so nice. That is so nice. Now this show is also to empower women, yeah, in many ways. So
Yes.
two things that I want to know. First is this: did you ever go through discrimination as a woman? Now, in any ways in your life, could you share some stories if you have any?
Yeah, for the most part, I'm really grateful and blessed that the men I have in my life, from family to friends, are all yeah, really supportive and empowering, like you. But there was definitely one instance as a trainer when I went to another country, and my participants in that class was 20 people, 17 of whom were men who were older than me. And I remember um, yeah, just being super uncomfortable because of the tone and manner of speaking that they were talking to me with during that whole session. But you know, I tried to keep my calm and I tried to stay composed. But I remember when I looked at the feedback at the end of the session, one guy wrote like she should just be an airline hostess, and
Oh my goodness.
I really, yeah, yeah, I couldn't hold back tears, but no one could see me anymore because everyone left the room. But I remember feeling so hurt by that because nothing against airline hostesses, right? But I thought like he was just saying that it was just that I how I dressed, but he didn't give me any feedback about yeah, the content or the delivery. Yeah, he was just saying basically that I just look nice and I didn't. Yeah, I got hurt by that. So what I did was, whatever money I earned from that training workshop, I actually canceled all my bookings for the rest of the week, and because I realized this many people said very nice things about this country. I don't want to leave this country having this feeling. So I booked a week toured the country with the money that I earned from that session, and I was so blown away by the, yeah, just the amazing souls and the men I met on that week that I extended. So it totally changed my perspective, and yeah, just put it as a, yeah, just a growing, I don't know, as an opportunity for growth and developing compassion. Yeah.
See again, you're taking it in a very positive manner, but I'm shocked to hear that people actually comment such manner. And this is the thing. You see, a lot of times we always think that as a like for a woman, discrimination is the end, whereby you cannot do a lot more things because people discriminate anyways. Now, of course, you being a woman is one, and then we being Asian is another, and then you travel a lot of
Yeah.
places. There are so many ways that they can make you feel small. But I think the
Yes.
more important is what you have up here. If you are able to mindfully say that, you know what, this is my journey, this is my pathway, and I'm going to do whatever that I'm going to do, I think things will change. Will that work?
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely,
All right, all
definitely.
right. So now,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
You want
No,
to say
I just
something?
wanted to add, like, there were times, like, as an Asian woman, I felt like, when you enter a room as a trainer, I would assume people are given like at least a zero, right? Like a neutral position. But then for some reason, I in my in the especially the initial years when I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself, I felt like I would start with the negative, that I had to kind of work my way up to gain that zero, and then people will listen to me. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and you're right. The places that I've been similar stage, it's always zero rising the whole thing. Then you have to build up, and that takes a lot of effort and energy. Yeah, I must
I
say.
know, I
Yeah.
know.
So
Yeah.
so the next one is, what would you say to the many ladies out there, right, who still thinks that they cannot go far in life, and they don't they have got a dream, they want to be someone, but because life has took a different turn, therefore they think this is it, I'm done. What
Yes.
have you got to say to these ladies?
Um, Oh, that's interesting, because actually one of the biggest lessons of the Camino de Santiago for me was the gift of wrong turns and
Mm,
obstacles. So just to share with you, so there was this one day on the path when, obviously, like life, right? If you're not mindful about where you're walking, then we lost the yellow arrow.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we ended up with this whole roadblock, and we didn't know anymore like where to go and what to do. So anyway, long story short, one of the other pilgrims had to find a way around, and we waited for him to kind of find a way out. And what was crazy within that moment when we got lost was that we had to find another way, right, and overcome the obstacle and the big, the boulder in front of us. And that was, I have to say, we didn't realize we were gonna end up in the highest point of the Camino. So we
Mm,
were gifted with the most beautiful vistas of like islands floating in clouds. I need to show you the photo someday. but
okay.
but for me, that really kind of was a metaphor about the gift of wrong turns and challenges. Sometimes, when we feel stuck, um, it's so easy to just lose hope and not persevere. But then if you just find, open yourself even to a little bit of a possibility, or to persist, right, and to persevere, we're gonna be gifted sometimes with the most beautiful and unexpected experiences that might be even better than what we had expected. So
Yeah,
yeah, so that's,
that's
I would share that with all the women out there, that yeah, for as long as we're alive, we have purpose, we can always reconnect with what brings us meaning and joy. And yeah, sometimes it's okay to pause, and but never lose sight of possibilities, because we really don't know what's waiting for us in the other side.
amazing, amazing. German ladies, that was just so inspiring. Yeah, DJ. I don't know what to say. That those sharing is so needed for the many out there. We all go through life in different pathways, different manner, different ways of life. But then, how do we move on, or rather, keep moving on? Is the key. And
Yes.
you moved on so well, and I think a lot of people out there really got inspired with whatever that you have said. So DJ, thank you so much for doing this. Yeah, it really was awesome, I must say, and I'm sure many of them have learned a lot of things. I'm sure I have learned a lot of things from you, especially the yellow arrow. Yeah, every time when I walk, I think the yellow arrow should be there guiding me through in doing good to the world, I must say. I
Yes.
wish you all the very best in the many new areas that you plan to go. Success is all that you will be having, I must say. Once again, thank you so much. Do you have anything else that you want to say before we go?
Yeah, thank you so much, Warren, for having me and allowing me to share with everybody. I'm not sure if we have a little bit of time, but I really wanted to share this poem I wrote on
Go
that
ahead.
last day in the Camino, because I feel that this is one of, I think, life's biggest invitations for all of us. And the poem I wrote is entitled "Walk as Love." So, walk as love. Every step a prayer, every emotion a messenger and guide, every encounter a divine appointment, every person a teacher, every space a church and a holy place. Every moment, whether it's a movement or a pause, is part of a delicious dance with life. Every breath a sacred union with the divine. Walk as love.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. And with that, I want to share what I have as my life purpose. Yeah, there you go. My life purpose is enjoy life as much as possible with the little success that I may get along the way. Help people in many ways possible, sharing stories, sharing knowledge, sharing skills, and help wherever possible, and raise a family, have kids. Lovely wife, and make sure that they grow up to be yet another bunch of good people. So very simple, but I think that is all that is needed. I would say, yeah, DJ. Once again, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming by after a long, many years that we are
I
meeting.
know.
Yeah? Right?
13 years.
Oh goodness, yeah, I still remember 2008. Yeah, we did another together, but it's an amazing journey. I think. Look at you; you have gone so far, and I wish you all the best, DJ.
Thank you so much, Warren. Thank you, everybody.
You're most welcome. So remember when I say I am more than I think, now this is it, right? This is it. You all can do so much. You just need to be telling yourself that you can do it, and it must be attached with passion and also your goal, and which we spoke about, life purpose. When you have all these talking to each other, I think you can then go to autopilot mode, because life will happen anyways. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we shall meet again same time next Wednesday with yet another fantastic guest. Bye bye.